Hello everyone, hope all of you have been doing well. In this video, I would like to talk about this concept of disbudding your rose. And what you see in front of you, these are the buds from the different rose plants that I decided to remove. This is the concept, but let me explain to you first that this is not something that is required or highly recommended. I think it depends on the person in case by case basis. Some people do not agree with this method. Some people swear by the success going this route. So let me give you a little bit of the context as to why in the world you want to remove these buds, and why not just let them open up. So for 3 years into growing roses seriously, the reason I say seriously because I've been trying to grow roses on and off for the past at least maybe between 8 to 10 years, but my obsession started during COVID to add a lot of roses since 2020. So during that time when I start doing my research, right, I came across this lady in Japan. She had such gorgeous rose garden. She shared her tips about how she could grow her beautiful roses. She learned some really wonderful tips from her Japanese master rose expert, and one of the methods was to disbud the new flowers before they get so big and then open up. And the reason for that is that applies to the young roses in the first year, because roses in the first year is fairly weak and small. In order for the roses to bloom, they have to use a lot of energy to send to the flowers in order to create that flowers open up in the whole process, right? So in order to help the plants to become stronger, they believe that disbudding the roses will help the roses to convert the energy back to growing the roots and foliages, canes instead. And this method has been it gets a lot of controversial in the US as well. Some people agree, some people don't. And for me, for 3 years, to be honest, I just did not have the heart or the patience to wanting to go a year without seeing the bloom, right? I think most of you can relate to that, right? We just cannot wait to see how the flowers look. But for some people, they are willing to sacrifice that in order for the plants to be more robust and to give them a lot of beautiful blooms the following year. So that on that aspect, I'm not going to say what is right, what is wrong. So it depends on the situation and so forth. So that's the context and the background. And now, why am I doing this now? So I have been doing this maybe this year on and off, right? And these are my roses are not in the first year. Some of them 2 years and some 3 years, like Boscobel over here, which is in its 3rd year now. And if you look at my other video, like the highest view one on my channel is Boscobel in the springtime, looked, oh my goodness, completely different from how it looks right now in the summer of 2023. And Boscobel seems to struggle in our heat in Texas summer. I don't know about others people experience. Some people may not have the same experience, but for me, for 3 years, it does not handle, it doesn't like heat very much. And this year we have a lot of thrips as well. It's like thrip galore. So thrip is a pest, chili thrips, which are very common in especially in the southern part of the country. You see the dark streak under the foliages of your roses. So most of my roses, or all to be exact, all of them have the same issues. And then of course we have heat as well, which kind of not helping situation either. So my roses, some of them, when they bloom, like the bloom looks so tiny. I appreciate its effort to put on the blooms and all that. But then when you look at the plants, they kind of look, struggling. And here, let me show you the blooms. I already removed deadhead some of the Boscobel. So here, let's look at this one right here. That's Boscobel. Look, how tiny is that, right? So what's the point of having it, sending all its energy to have a bloom like this? So this is why I decide to, because this bloom is going to be like that or even smaller. So that's the reason why I decided to go ahead and disbud all of these, so that it can focus on its energy on building roots, like working underneath, instead of trying to put so much energy blooming. And I mean, it's like trying so hard. Look at that. There's so many cute little buds all over the place, but I know that when it opens up, it will be super tiny as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove them. And that's the reason why. Okay, and like I said, this is not something that you must do, or it's going to hurt your rose or not hurt your rose. So everyone will have to make a determination as far as what feels right for you. When it comes to gardening, one of the important things that I learned is that you can have all kinds of advices, but if some of them just don't sit right with you, then trust your instinct, trust your gut, okay? Because it's your garden, and everyone has their own way as far as doing things. You can adopt the one that feels right with you, that doesn't make you feel like I have to do this, but then I don't really want to do it. You know what I mean? Like for me, when I hear that, okay, I have to spray, I have to apply fungicide, insecticide, or preventative measure for my roses every 2 weeks, that's to me. And once again, that's just me. It's just too much work, and I just don't want to do it. So I decide to do a no spray garden, no systematic, nothing. And that's probably why my roses look this way. Anyhow, just do whatever feels right to you. And here is Plum Perfect. See how small it is. And with the weather cooling down, I think we are going to get a really good fall flush before this summer. And Plum Perfect has so many blooms. I kind of feel like, should I disbud? I mean, it's like some of the buds are already pretty big. Maybe these I would just let them open, but something like the newly formed buds like this one, super tiny, maybe I can just remove these instead. It has so many new growth, looking really good. I think we are going to have a relief pretty soon, even though today it still feels pretty hot, but I'm glad that we are no longer having 3 or triple digit temperature anymore. And as far as this budding, You know, I will, for me, I will only do that for the roses that seem to be struggling. So this is April Love, which I have many videos on this one. This rose, it does not struggle, period. It looks really great. I mean, look at the foliages. Look at all the weeds that I have. I'm going to start cleaning up today. But look at its health. It looks terrific. And it has so many buds which will open up really soon in the weeks to come. I think right now, as far as I can tell, it may have like 10 plus. So something like this, if it looks good, I'm not going to disbud because this rose is not struggling in any way compared to what you see on Boscobels, like foliages and all that. It's just like deform, really tiny foliages, right? So I think it makes total sense to disbud, but not on the roses that are thriving and looking good. So another one that I want to show you that I don't disbud is a Violet Pride. This rose has been doing amazing as well. So these are the blooms that have been open for a few days, and look at the health, right? I mean, look at, I mean, this one is still young and small in its first year here, first year in my garden, and it has been doing wonderful, really healthy. So for this one, I'll just let it bloom, but I'm just going to remove the spent blooms now so that it can push out more and the new ones. Like for that one, I'm not going to disbud, so I'll just leave that one alone. And right over here, I have Tinkerbell, which just recovered from this summer as well. It looked completely horrible, didn't bloom for a long time, and all the foliage just drop and turn like kind of reddish brown. But now it has been putting out a lot of foliages, new blooms. So for this one, as you can see, it looks really good and healthy now. So I will just enjoy the blooms. I'm not going to disbud or anything like that. So I hope this makes sense, and let me know if you have tried that the method to disbud before, and how do you like that, and if you have good experience with it. Share with me in the comments below. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.